Now by James Fallows, who holds the US Media Chair at the US Studies Centre at Sydney University and is also national correspondent for the distinguished Atlantic magazine. Professor Fallows, thank you for your time. Now, we've seen President Barack Obama at the G20 summit just there, at the start of the G20 summit. How important is it for him to shine at this summit?
I think it is important because, as everyone knows, he suffered a real rebuff over the past week in the midterm elections in the U.S. And one of the weapons a president always has is the ability to perform on an international stage. So while he's going away from the United States after this defeat, it's a time for him to show there are things a president can do internationally.
So what does he need to achieve, though? Is it to look presidential? Is it to come back with a good story to tell?
Well, I think it's a good story to tell, in particular about jobs. The main theme of American politics and the American economy right now is the persistent high unemployment rate. So if the president can say, at this G20 meeting, we've talked with China, talked with Japan, talked with Korea, and we're going to find ways to rebuild the economy in the U.S., that would be a very important thing for him to say.
We have, as you mentioned, we have seen, obviously, the shellacking, as he put it, that he took in the midterms. Terrible result, terrible popularity rating for President Obama right now. Is it too early to judge his presidency?
It certainly is. It's significant that both Ronald Reagan, who of course was re-elected in a landslide in 1984, and Bill Clinton, who was also re-elected very strongly in '96, were less popular at this stage of their presidencies than Barack Obama is now. So anything can happen. American politics is unpredictable, but I think Obama has a lot of chances still ahead of him.
George W. Bush, conversely, George Bush Sr. had record
Yes.
Approval ratings. Is it, they say a week's a long time in politics, but particularly so in America. Are memories that short?
I think that memories are that short, and that while it's significant that the Republican Party, which scored such big wins in the House of Representatives, is still less popular in opinion polls in the U.S. than the Democratic Party is. So there is a quite profound anti-incumbent vote for change, but still there's now 2 years for Obama to position himself against any specific Republican competitor.
I note you've written in one of the articles that President Obama's accomplishments in his first 2 years in office are perhaps greater than any president in recent times. How important is that?
I think it's significant because with the Republicans now taking the House, he's really not going to do any more legislating in the next 2 years. So the fact that he was able to have a financial rescue bill and reform bill in the first 2 years, the health reform plan, which may seem almost incredible from Australia, the U.S. has not had this before, but something that previous Democratic presidents were not able to achieve, and a few international accomplishments, that is the legislative record he'll take into the next election.
How much of that could be dismantled now that the balance of power has shifted in the House?
I think rhetorically there are going to be a lot of bills from the House of Representatives opposing this and that part of the health reform bill in particular. But as long as the Democrats hold the Senate and Barack Obama is in the White House, it'll be very difficult for the Republicans actually to undo any of this legislation.
Potentially looking in 2 years' time to a Sarah Palin-Barack Obama presidential race. What are your thoughts?
If Sarah Palin is the nominee, which I think unlikely, I think she would. There's never been a president elected with higher negative ratings than positive ratings, and that is Sarah Palin's condition. Each month she's been on the national scene, her negatives have gone higher and higher.
We'll watch with interest at whatever happens. Professor James Fallows, we appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Thank you.